Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source, and we started the weekend off properly last night. 6-1 in the NBA, plus 3.28 units. We're riding high. Let's bring some momentum into this loaded weekend. We got 10 NBA games. Let's go. Welcome to The Source. The Source. Hey, get the Source. First up, we got a late afternoon game here. New York Knicks are on the road out in LA for a 4 p.m. Eastern start. This total sitting at 228.5, and this line opens up Clips -5. Line stays pinned at Clippers -5, despite the public being all over the Knicks. In fact, the Knicks are the most public play on the board right now. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Clippers plus 3.86, so an absolutely huge lean on the Knicks. But again, spreadsheet doesn't know that Brunson's sitting. Knicks are going to be without Brunson again. Unfortunately, it looks like he re-aggravated his foot injury in the Kings game the other night. Definitely scary news if you're a Knicks fan. So quickly he's going to be in the starting lineup. But the Clippers are also missing an offensive piece. Norman Powell still at least a week away. But we've seen both of these teams play well without these pieces. We just saw the Knicks go into Boston and beat the Celtics without Brunson. That was like 5 or 6 days ago. And the Clippers are 2-1 since losing Norman Powell. Their only loss was at Sacramento by 1 point when they rested a bunch of starters. On the court, I would have to say the matchup advantage goes to the Clips here. We know the Clippers have been struggling defensively for most of this season. The thing is, their weakness is protecting the basket. In the last month, they're 30th, dead last in defensive efficiency at the rim. But the thing is, the Knicks don't really attack the basket much. In the last month, they're just 25th in shot frequency at the rim. Most of the Knicks offense comes from outside. So although the Clips defense has definitely been bad overall, number one, recently it's been getting better. And number two, the Knicks offense might be a nice matchup for them, especially without Brunson on the floor. Now, the Knicks defense is tough and well-rounded. They can defend everywhere, especially the perimeter. But when you're talking about guys like Kawhi and Paul George, guys like that are going to get their shots off regardless of the defense that they're playing. I think the best move here is to lay the points. I also have 2 props for this game. So let's head over to OddsJam, see if we can steal some value here. We'll click on Knicks Clippers. And it looks like the best value we're going to get on this one is Clippers -5 at -108 on FanDuel, so let's lock that in. First prop I like is Marcus Morris over 1.5 3-pointers made because Julius Randle's lazy ass defense. So let's hit the drop down here, go to 3-pointers made, scroll down to Marcus Morris, and it looks like we can get this one at plus 130 on both Bet365 and DraftKings. So let's lock that one in. Second prop I like is RJ Barrett over points. His shot volume has gone way up, and against the Clippers defense that's terrible protecting the basket, RJ Barrett loves taking it to the rim. I think I'll have double-digit free throw attempts on this. So let's go to player points, scroll down to RJ Barrett all the way down at the bottom. And it looks like the best value here is over 21.5 points at -118 on Barstool. So let's lock all 3 of those in. Next game, Miami, fresh off their big win over Cleveland last night. They're on the road in Orlando for a 7 p.m. start. Totals down to 221.5, and this line opened up Orlando +3. Line drops down to 2.5, and the public is all over the Heat here. Both the tickets and the handle heavily leaning towards Miami. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Orlando -3.82. So we got another big lean from the model, about 6-point lean on Orlando. So the Heat are on a back-to-back with a travel. But the trip from Miami to Orlando isn't exactly taxing. The thing is, what concerns me more than the travel is the fact that the Heat played a tough game last night against a physical Cavs team. They were down the whole game, came back and won in the 4th quarter. Now, I know we've been fading the Magic recently and we've been cashing. I think Orlando's 3-8 against the spread in their last 11. Pretty sure that's right. They've lost 3 games in a row. But what is the reason I keep giving for fading Orlando? No Wendell Carter on the floor. Wendell Carter is back tonight. Not even questionable, not even probable. He's back. I actually love this spot for the Magic on 1-day rest at home, coming off 3 straight losses, getting a key piece back. Plus, Orlando always plays Miami tough. These are division rivals. The Heat are just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 against the Magic. So I'm going to take a turn down Sharp Avenue and play Orlando here. So let's head over to OddsJam and snag some value here. We'll click on Heat Magic and check it out. We're getting the hook. We can still get this one at Orlando +3 on Barstool again for -113. Lock it in. Next game. Pacers are on the road out in Detroit. This is a 7 p.m. start. Totals 230, and this line opened up Pistons +6.5. Shocker, the Pistons are missing a bunch of pieces tonight. We saw them do the same thing last year. Looks like Detroit might be entering end of the season tank mode. You can add Jaden Ivey to the list of inactives with Bogdanovich, Diallo, Burks, and Stewart. But here's the thing. Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, and TJ McConnell, all questionable for Indiana. I cannot bet the Pacers if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't play. And if Halliburton and Miles Turner both don't play, that's been the two most important pieces on the team. If they both sit tonight, I would honestly consider taking the points with the Pistons second unit, seriously. So I'm gonna pass on this game. There's so much to bet on today. There's 10 NBA games, there's March Madness across the board, conference tournaments, PGA Players Championship, there's UFC tonight, and the UFC guy's been hot as hell. There's just too much. I'm not forcing a bet here. Next game. Utah is on the road to play the Hornets in Charlotte. This is a 7 p.m. start. This total opens up 229, and this line opens up Charlotte +3.5. Line drops from 3.5 down to 2.5, and it looks like everyone's betting Charlotte here. Public slightly leaning Charlotte. Sharp money definitely on the Hornets. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Charlotte -2.64. So we're looking at a 5-point lean on the Hornets. I'm definitely on Utah here. I know that we've seen Charlotte put together a couple nice performances in a row. Hornets actually entered this game on a 2-game win streak without LaMelo Ball. Personally, I'm not buying it. Add on the fact that Mark Williams is questionable for Charlotte. If you don't know who that is, he plays the 4/5 for the Hornets. By far their best rebounder and their best interior defender on the team. That's been the only strength of this Hornets team that's been consistent throughout the season. They've been very good defensively on the interior. Mark Williams is a huge reason for that. If he doesn't play and there's no LaMelo Ball, there is 0% chance that a single dollar of mine will go on Charlotte. The reason I'm not kicking the door down to bet Utah right now is Jordan Clarkson is also questionable. I'm going to be on the Jazz either way, but if Clarkson plays, it'll be a much heavier bet. Update, Jordan Clarkson ruled out. Unfortunately, looks like the line dropped down to 1.5. I'm going to play Utah -1.5, but it'll be a small bet. Boston Celtics on the road in Atlanta to play the Hawks. This is a 7:30 p.m. start. Total set at 235, and this line opened up Atlanta +5.5. This line's kind of bouncing around a little bit. It drops down to 4.5, but now it's back up to 5. We'll have to keep an eye on it. As far as the action, we're looking at a pros versus public look. Public definitely on the Celtics. Sharp money definitely on the Hawks. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Atlanta +1.19. So we're looking at about 3.5, 4-point lean on the Hawks here. Boston is still a bit shorthanded. Robert Williams III is going to miss another game. But other than that, they're pretty good to go. The other 4 starters are fully healthy. Also, Malcolm Brogdon back healthy, coming off the bench as a 6-man. Hawks have definitely turned up a little bit recently for sure. Trae Young specifically has been much more efficient shooting the ball since Nate McMillan got fired. Now, I don't know if those two are correlated or not, but the numbers don't lie here. Since McMillan got fired, Trae's shooting 46.3% from the floor and 42.6% from 3, both much higher than his season averages. Celtics defense has also been pretty suspect inside the 3-point line. They're just 19th at the rim and 21st against the mid-range shot in the last month. So that little 12-foot floater that Trae Young loves should be there for him most of the night. I like the Hawks to put up points on Boston in this one. Here's the problem. I think the Celtics could easily put up a 130 piece in this one. Atlanta's defense has been bottom 10 against the 3-ball for most of the year, and we know that's exactly what Boston does. As long as the Celtics shooters aren't ice cold, Boston should put up a big number here. So I'm riding with the Celtics. I'm taking Boston and the over. So let's head over to Oddsjam. We like the Celtics here. We'll click on Celtics Hawks. And look at this, we're getting another hook. We can get Celtics -4.5 at -13 on Barstool again. 2 days in a row, Barstool's been hooking us up with value. So let's lock that one in. I also like the over in this game, so let's scroll down to the game total. Looks like our best value here is going to be on Fox Bet. We can get 237.5 over at -118. So let's lock that one in as well. Next game. Update, Bogdanovich out for the Hawks. That's huge for a Celtics bet. One of the Hawks' weaknesses all season has been outside shooting. He's one of their best outside shooters, so he's out. It hasn't affected the line so far from what I've seen. Also, DeAndre Hunter is questionable, one of their best wing defenders. The clouds are parting for a perfect Celtics bet here. Dallas Mavericks on the road in Memphis to play the Grizzlies. This is an 8 p.m. start. This total opens up at 229. Line opens up Memphis -5.5. Check this one out. Public is pretty heavy on the Mavs so far. Line has not budged. It's been pinned at Memphis -5.5 5.5 since it opened late last night. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Memphis minus 1.4. So we're looking at a 4-point lean on the Mavs, but like I always say, model does not know that Luka Doncic is sitting. Luka Doncic is out. Kyrie Irving questionable. I mean, look, I'm just betting Memphis without Ja Morant blindly. I'm a huge advocate of the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja in the lineup. They instantly become one of the best defensive teams in the league as soon as he leaves the floor. So I'm not going to waste any time rambling on about this one. I'm on Memphis. If Kyrie plays, it'll be a smaller bet. If Kyrie sits, it'll be a decent sized bet. Update. So after I recorded that first part, just popped up on Twitter about 20 minutes ago, Kyrie Irving did participate in shoot-arounds. Now, that doesn't mean he's definitely going to play, but usually that indicates that they're probably going to play. Anyway, let's head over to OddsJam and see what kind of value we can get on our Grizzlies bet. And it looks like we got a handful of options on this one. DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, PointsBet. So take your pick. Memphis -5 at -110. Keep in mind that the final update for Kyrie Irving could move this line slightly. So if you like Memphis and you think Kyrie's gonna play, that tweet when he plays may drop this line, so you might want to wait it out. If you like Memphis and you think Kyrie's gonna sit, you should probably bet it now, because when they announce that he's not playing, the line's probably gonna go back up to 5.5 or 6. Chicago Bulls are on the road in Houston for an 8 p.m. start. This total opens up at 232. Line opens up Houston Rockets +7. Line actually jumps up a half point. We're looking at Houston +7.5 now. And we got a pros versus public look. Public definitely on the Chicago Bulls. Sharp money is definitely in on the Rockets though. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. And according to the model, the line for this game should be Houston -2.97. But keep in mind, if you watch this channel, you know when it comes to the Houston Rockets, my model's always way off because the Rockets rebounding is just insane and it throws all the data off. This one is simple for me. I refuse to lay 7.5 points on the road with this Chicago Bulls team. I don't like this team at all. They're coming off a huge upset win in Denver. It was a nice win. We had Chicago plus the points in that, so we loved it. But the truth is, that was a fluke. This Bulls team doesn't do that. I mean, if you look at the previous 6 road games before the Denver win, the Bulls are just 1-5, and their one win was a slim 117-115 victory over the Detroit Pistons, who were without 3 starters. Also, the Bulls defense is great. It's an elite defense, but their strength is on the perimeter with Caruso and Pat Beverly out there limiting outside shots. On the interior, they're just average. That's exactly what the Rockets do, is attack the basket. Houston's first in the NBA in shot frequency at the rim over the last month. So the Rockets offense plays right into the weakness of the Bulls defense. I actually think the Rockets are live dogs here. I think there's a chance they win this game. So let's head over to OddsJam and find some value here. Looks like our best bet is going to be Houston +7.5 at -108 on FanDuel. I also like the Rockets team total. So let's hit the drop down and go over to the team total as well. And our best value is, again, on FanDuel. Houston team total over 108.5. That's at -104 on FanDuel. So let's lock both of those in. Oklahoma City's on the road in NOLA to play the Pelicans. This is an 8:30 p.m. tip. This total opens up at 226, but actually it's up to 233 now. So it's moved 7 whole points. Line opens up Pelicans -3.5. Early action came in heavy on Oklahoma City and it dropped the line from 3.5 down to 2.5. Looks like the public's about split even now. Sharp money's still heavily leaning towards Oklahoma City. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be New Orleans -2.31, so no lean at all. That's exactly where the books have it. I'm gonna wait this one out personally. I love betting the Pelicans at home, and I actually like the Pelicans at home in this spot against OKC. The problem is Brandon Ingram is questionable, and if he's ruled out, I think the line's gonna move. If Ingram doesn't play, I think the public's gonna flood over to the OKC side, and we might get the Pelicans at a really good number. So I'm on the Pelicans in this one. I have no idea how heavy I'm gonna bet it or where the line's gonna close at. So I'm on the Pelicans, but I'm waiting this one out. Game of the night. Milwaukee is on the road in Golden State. This is an 8:30 p.m. start. This total opened up 229, but it's now at 240. It moved 11 whole points. Line opened up Golden State +1, but it's now at Golden State -1. Does this mean Giannis isn't going to play? So the public's on Golden State, and like I just said, this line moved to Golden State -1. The fact that it moved 2 points and the total moved 11 points makes me think Giannis is questionable right now. It makes me think that he might not play. We'll have to wait and see. If you take the best defender off the court, obviously the total goes up. That's what I'm thinking, but there's nothing is certain right now. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Golden State +4.55. So that would be a solid lean on Milwaukee, but again, We need to know if Giannis is playing. Obviously, I'm not betting this game until I know whether or not Giannis is playing. He's currently listed as questionable. I will say if Giannis does play, I will almost definitely be on Milwaukee. I know everyone's scared to fade the Warriors at home, and with good reason. They're 27-7 at home this year. That's the 5th best record in the NBA at home. They're also 22-11-1 against the spread at home, which is first best record against the spread at home in the NBA. But the Milwaukee Bucks are a different animal. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to take a look at how Golden State has done against the elite teams in the NBA, right? Because everyone has the Bucks in the top 2 or 3 in their power rankings. So if I had to pick my top 5 NBA teams right now, in no particular order, I'd take Milwaukee, Denver, Boston, let's say Philly, and Phoenix, right? I mean, I feel like that's a pretty fair top 5. Let's look at how Golden State has performed against those teams. So the Bucks up first. Warriors are 0-1 against the Bucks, but that game was played in Milwaukee, not at home. Warriors are 0-2 against Denver. They lost 1 at home, lost 1 on the road. Warriors are 1-1 against Boston. They won at home, lost on the road. Warriors are 0-1 against the Sixers, but that game was played in Philly. Against the Suns, Warriors are 0-3. They've lost 3 times to Phoenix, 1 at home, 2 on the road. So I know it's a small sample size, but Golden State, in my opinion, hasn't shown us they can compete with the top teams in the NBA. Against those 5 teams I just named, which in my opinion are the 5 best, they're just 1-2 at home. I'm probably betting Milwaukee either way. If Giannis plays, I'm definitely betting Milwaukee. If Giannis doesn't play, I want to see what the line does. If I can get Milwaukee catching 2.5, 3, I'll probably still play the Bucks. Update, Giannis rolled out. Line has moved to Golden State -3.5. I'm still playing the Bucks. It's not going to be a huge bet, but I kind of like it, to be honest. Give me Milwaukee +3.5. Sacramento's on the road in Phoenix for a 9 p.m. start. This total opens up at 238. Line opens up Phoenix -3. Check this one out. So the public comes in heavy on Phoenix early, bumps the line up to 4, but look what happens when the line hits 4. A flood of Sacramento Kings bets come in, and now the public side is the Kings as of right now. Curious to see if this line drops back down to 3.5. We'll have to wait and see. Let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Phoenix -9.99, so that's a 6-point lead on the Suns. Watch out for the Kings on the road. The Sacramento team is 19-12 against the spread on the road this year. That's 2nd best in the NBA, 2nd behind the New York Knicks. But in my opinion, the narrative surrounding this Suns team is just way off. What's the lead story of the Suns right now? Kevin Durant's injury, right? Everyone seems to be overlooking everything else that's going on with this Suns team right now. Here's 2 major factors that has me betting the Suns tonight. Number 1, this Phoenix team was playing at an elite level before Durant even got there. They were 10-4-2 against the spread in their 16 games leading up to Durant's debut. Number 2, Devin Booker is playing the best basketball of his career right now since returning from injury, which was last month, probably like 3-4 weeks ago. Since returning from injury, he's averaging 29.2 points per game, shooting 52.2% from the floor. You combine that with the Suns defense being elite, and again, this defense was elite before Durant got there. You got an elite top 3 defense maybe, combined with Devin Booker scorching hot. I'm down to go on the square side here. I'll lay the points with Phoenix. So let's head over to OddsJam one last time to try to snag some value, and check it out. We're getting a hook here. DraftKings still has this at Phoenix -3.5. So let's lock that in at -115. If anything changes with any of these bets, I will let you know on Twitter. So give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final ticket, which has the top bets, parlay, the day, and then the list of what I'm exactly betting, just head over to KyleKirms.com or download the Sauce Network app. NBA Saturday, we had a hot start to this weekend, and I want to keep it going. Remember to bet responsibly. There's a lot of action on the board today. Don't go crazy. I'll talk to you on Twitter.